So this idea in Roman Catholic theology of the subjective change, the infusion of grace, and this whole idea of being a priest after the order of Melchizedek. Only Christ is that. Not a single one of you guys is a priest after the order of Melchizedek. Stop it. Whether you're Mormon or Roman Catholic, doesn't matter. You're not. Period. But, taken very seriously, so that within Roman Catholic theology, you're having to look at these guys. You're having to look at these homosexual predators, and that's what they are. You're hearing a lot about pederasty and stuff like that. We'll get to that in a moment. But from the Roman Catholic perspective, you have to look at these people as still specially spiritually marked out as having this special power and capacity and all the rest of this type of stuff. And honestly, this all goes back to the Donatist controversy. It really does. If you've listened to the beginnings of the church history series, we're on lesson 63. I'm figuring we're going to get about to 66, 67, somewhere. I'm not sure how long Calvin's going to take. I don't think we're going to get to 70. First time we did it was only 52, so we definitely expanded things out a good bit this time. But you may recall in the earlier portions, we dealt with the Donatist controversy, one of the two great controversies in Augustine's life, the Donatist controversy and the Pelagian controversy. And we talked about the rise of sacramentalism and ex opera operanti versus ex opera operato sacramentalism and all the things associated therewith. And this is the natural result over 1,500 years, 1,600 years of that particular controversy and the idea of ex opera operato sacramentalism. You really do have that in this. And so it is important, and it has to have an impact upon the thinking Roman Catholic. I mean, Matt Walsh is talking about, we need to have hatred in the church. You need to have anger in the church. And I'm like, your anger is misdirected. Your problem is that you've got the wrong gospel and you've got the wrong church. And it's corrupt from top to bottom, has been for centuries. All you got to do is go back in history. It has been corrupt since the pornocracy, and it's still corrupt. And yet there are people who just overlook it and just, there's nothing else. There's nothing else out there. Yes, there is. Yes, there is. I think about celebrity converts to Roman Catholicism. I think about one guy. I listen to him all the time. He's a brilliant, bright guy. He used to be Presbyterian. Now he's a Roman Catholic. And I just go, how do you miss this stuff? How could you have once known the truth and then you miss this stuff? It's just... Anyway, one of the things I wanted to point out is the fact that there is a chart out there, Summary of Pennsylvania Predator Priest Activity. And it gives heterosexual predation, homosexual predation, and child porn. Under heterosexual predation, and obviously since there's only male priests, 6% female child victims, 16% female teenage victims, 1% female adult victims. Under homosexual predation, 11% male child victims, 2% male adult victims, but male teenage victims, 60%. So put the 2% for adult victims with the 62, that's almost exactly 2/3. I mean, okay, 67, but 6.6. But about 2/3, and this is just in Pennsylvania, is not pedophilia, not pederasty. It's straight up standard homosexuality. And I am not the first person. I've heard Roman Catholics talking about this for a long time, talking about the reality of the homosexual culture in the Roman Catholic priesthood. And Roman Catholic apologists have, in general, not everyone, there have been some who've tried to say, hey, there's a real problem here. But they would generally end up on the outside because they did this. There is a huge homosexual culture within the seminaries that train Roman Catholic priests worldwide. It's not just the United States, but it's worldwide. And when people try to pass this off as some type of pedophilia thing, it's not. It is directly associated with homosexuality. And the reason you've seen it spun, I mean, you've got to spin it when 60% male teenage victims. This is clearly a homosexual issue. And there are people within the Roman Catholic Church that are starting to come out and say, yeah, this is what we're really dealing with, is this homosexual culture. Good luck fixing that. You can't fix it. You don't have the gospel. You can't fix it. Your priesthood is corrupt. It is unbiblical. It always has been. The only thing you can do is repent. Maybe Pope Francis will come out and say, you know what? I am not the infallible vicar of Christ, and never have been, never will be, and none of my predecessors have been either. And let's go back and start this all over again, because there's no way you can fix this. There's no way you can fix this. You don't have the power to fix it. That's just